It seems like yet again, templates and preparation are hugely, hugely important. I feel like that's always, I always have room to grow as someone who's sometimes mixing, sometimes writing, producing, doing different genres, all that. I feel like I always kind of go like, oh, I really wish I had nine different templates for every role, and I never quite get them all the way I want. But
Yeah,
it seems like templates are a hugely important part of a mixer's workflow.
definitely is. Yeah, as a mixer, and the nice thing is even when I go into production, right? Like if I'm doing something with Annie and having that my mix template is it's kind of gotten fine tuned, but there's a lot of it is just having verbs and delays kind of ready to go, and certain settings that I like, certain like I have a couple of Sans Amp buses for the drums. I have a snare slap that I like. And it's also not just in mixing because a lot of times, if I'm making a record and I'm in the studio and the expectation is like, hey, these things need to sound like a record sooner rather than
Yeah.
later, then I'll just pull stuff in from my mix template. And like, not only is it like stuff that I'm very, very familiar with, and I can get stuff fast, but it just sounds good. Like it's past the test of hundreds of mixes, right? So this is like cool. I'm gonna get results with this.
I remember that from, I think from one of the discussions with Baines of his tracking template, which I would just assume is like, oh, it's pretty simple. You've got your vocal tracks and some BBs and some buses, and you got your tune ready and your headphone sends and whatever. But he also had several tracks with different distortion and delay times and whatever. Just when they start doing ad libs, it's like, here's an ad lib. Let's try it on this. What does that throw sound like with that EQ and distort? What does that sound? I was like, oh yeah, I should do more prepping. I should do more prepping for everything.
Yeah.
It's so great in the room to just have something that sounds finished, that sounds cool, that sounds right, where you don't have to go like, let me set up a track and then I'm going to put in the delay and then let me figure out which distortion it like. Just you have all that shit already set up.
Yeah. And it can be a little bit of a slippery slope in production because I think there's part of going into a studio, and especially if it's a studio that you're not fully familiar with, like
Mm.
you should allocate yourself some time to experiment with things, to try the things that are at that studio that you might not normally work with. You don't
Mm.
always just rely on your own tools because I think you're if you're just going to be using the same sounds all the time in the same template, then you're going to kind of get pigeonholed into that. So you want to find that balance of efficiency, but then also like leaving room for creativity outside of your normal orbit, like try that compressor, try that guitar pedal or something like that.
Yeah, no, that's definitely correct.
Thanks for watching. Just a reminder, all of this content is free. There's no secret knowledge here. There's no Patreon. We don't read ads. We don't have sponsors. We're just trying to build a knowledge base. All that we ask in return is that you share it with somebody. Thanks so much.